Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we'll learn how to set up a Windows Server home lab using HyperV. This is a perfect home lab project for beginners in IT who wish to get hands-on experience with Active Directory, group policy, networking, and file sharing. By the end of the video, you'll have a solid foundation in Windows Server administration, essential for IT support and system administration roles. So let's get started. First, we'll create different folders for each virtual machine so that we could store those particular virtual machines and their resources in this particular folders. Then we open Hyper-V Manager. In Hyper-V, we'll build our Windows Server home lab by first creating a virtual network switch, which is private switch. Then we'll create virtual machines and install operating system like Windows Server 2019 and Windows 10. Then we'll connect all the virtual machines using private switch. We'll select Virtual Switch Manager and select Private Switch because we want to create an isolated environment where we can practice Active Directory. We create first virtual machine, which is DC. First generation, and 248 MB would be enough for the basic usage. Connecting to private virtual switch, and then storing this particular virtual machine DC in its particular designated folder. 40 GB RAM would be enough for basic use. And we'll also install iOS file of Windows Server 2019, which I'll put the links below. We'll start the machine. Next, install now. Select second option with desktop experience. It allows to install the full Windows graphic environment. Select terms and conditions. Custom installation. Next. Wait for it to complete. The installation is about to complete now. It will restart. At this point, we won't press any key because we already have our Windows 2019 server installed. It's just getting the server ready. Do not press any key. Give a password and remember it. The server is ready now. We'll log in as an administrator with the same password we used. Likewise, we'll create another virtual machine called file server, in short, FS. Generation first, and 2 GB, which is 2048 MB, connecting to virtual private switch, storing in its designated folder, and providing 40 GB RAM, installing ISO file of Windows Server 2019. Started. Likewise, next, install. Select second option, which is desktop experience. Tick mark and accept terms and conditions. Custom installation. Next. Give some time to install. Let it restart. Again, do not press anything as we already have installed our Windows Server 2019. And pressing any key will just restart the installation process again. Give the same password we gave it to DC, domain controller. The Windows Server is ready now and we'll log in as administrator using the same password. Now we'll create another virtual machine for client called CL1. Select generation 1 and rest keep the system configuration same. Select I don't have a product key as this is just for practice. Select Windows 10 Education. Next. Accept terms and condition and custom installation. Next. And wait for it to complete. After installation is complete, it will restart. Do not press anything. Select the region you live in or any region of your choice. Same with the keyboard layout. You can skip this part. Select I don't have internet. Select continue with limited setup. Give the name of the PC, which is CL1. Give the password that you can remember. Retyping the password. Followed by some security questions. Here I'm just giving a random answers as this is just for practice. Select accept. You might skip for this, so not now. Wait for a few minutes. You can close this. Our client PC CL1 is ready. Now similarly we'll create another client PC CL2 with the same system specifications. Now CL2 is also ready. We can see that all four virtual machines are ready. Now we'll assign static IP addresses, change computer names, and temporarily disable the firewall in all the virtual machines. By assigning IP addresses to all the virtual machines, it allows them to identify and communicate with each other within a network. And by changing computer names to unique names such as TC, FS, CL1, CL2, it makes it easier to identify, manage, and troubleshoot systems when required. And by turning off the firewall temporarily in all the virtual machines, it helps establish network connectivity. For example, when a domain is created in a domain controller, later the file server, client PC1, client PC2, can connect to a domain network from workgroup, which we'll see in the practical. First, we'll start with TC, assigning IP address. Changing computer name. We can restart the machine later once we turn off the firewall. After turning the firewall off, then we can restart the machine so that the changes can be applied. After the machine is turned on, we can log in as a administrator with the same password we used earlier. If we choose the local server in the server manager, we'll be able to see all the changes. For example, the name has changed to DC and the firewall is turned off and also the IP address has changed. However, we can also confirm it using CMD command prompt by typing ipconfig/all. We can see all the details. On the top, we can see the machine's name has changed to DC and the IP address has been assigned. Now we'll make the same kind of changes with all other virtual machines. So once after we complete all the changes, we can also confirm the connectivity with all the machines from command prompt using ping command. By typing ping 192.168.1.1, the IP address that we assigned to DC earlier, we are trying to verify if there is a connectivity from CL2 with DC or not. And as in the result, we can see that 4 packets were sent, 4 were received, and 0 were lost, which mentions that there is a connectivity. Similarly, by typing ping and the IP addresses of other virtual machines, we are trying to verify if there is a connectivity with them or not. And we were successful to connect with all the virtual machines. Now we'll deploy Active Directory domain service role on the Windows server, which is TC, then promote it to a domain controller, and then we'll create organizational units, sub-organizational units, user accounts, and security groups so that we can share files, apply group policy, create network drive map, and apply folder redirection. Now we'll select TC. On the server manager, select dashboard, add role, next. Select the first option, role-based or feature-based installation. Then select first option again, next. Select Active Directory domain services, add features, next, and next, next. So we'll restart the destination server automatically if required, install, and wait for it to install. Now the installation is complete. We'll promote the server to domain controller. We'll select add a new forest because we are creating a domain for the first time and a new forest for the first time. So we'll provide the name of the domain, which is technest.local. Next. Then we'll assign the password. And do remember the password, please. Next. 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 Select install and wait for the installation to complete. After the installation is complete, we'll restart the DC so that the changes can be applied successfully. Now we'll log in as administrator to verify the changes and to create organizational units, sub-organizational units, user accounts, and security groups. In the local server, we can see that the workgroup has now changed to a domain called technest.local. From tools, we'll select Active Directory users and computers. click on technest.local, right click technest.local, go to new and select organizational unit. Create organizational unit, which is Australia. And then we create sub-organizational unit by clicking right click on Australia. With the same process, organizational unit. Name the first sub-organizational unit as computer. Then we create another sub-organizational unit called users. In the users sub-organizational unit, we create users by right-clicking and going to next and users. The first user, we give the name Tom with the user login name as tom@technest.local. So for the first time when we create a new account, we leave the first option on where the user have to create their own password when they log in for the first time. Similarly, we'll create another user account called Jerry so that we can add both of the users to a new security group called IT. In group scope, there are three options called domain local, global, and universal. The domain local means that the domain we created called technest.local, it's only going to be affected in that local domain. However, if we select global, then if there are multiple domains in a single forest, it's going to be affected in all of them. But if there are multiple domains and multiple forests, then we choose universal. For now, we just leave it as global as it is not going to make any changes. And if we see in group type, there are two options called security and distribution. Security is for applying group policy and distribution is for distributing emails. So at the moment we choose security so that we can apply group policy later. After creating IT group, now we add both of the users to the IT group. Now we create two more users so that we can add them in sales group. Now we'll join the file server and the client PCs to domain from workgroup. Click File Explorer, then right-click on this PC, select Properties, then Change Settings, then Change and Domain, and we type the name of the domain, which is TechNest. And then provide the credential by typing administrator at technest.local and typing the password that we assigned before. Then it will ask us to restart the machine, and we are going to restart to apply the changes. And when we log into file server and go to local server, we can see the workgroup has changed to domain. Now we follow the same steps to change client PC CL1 and CL2 to domain. After we join all the machines to domain, we'll configure the folder structure on the file server and then test folder access by client PC using client account. We'll open file server, then open file explorer, then create a new folder called data and subfolders called IT and sales. After that, we'll go to data properties and then share it to everyone with read-only permission. And then we'll go to its NTFS permissions, security, and make some changes by only applying it to this folder only. After that, we'll go to the subfolders, IT, properties, and go to sharing, share it. Then we're going to security, advanced, disabling inheritance, and then add, give permissions to IT group. Then provide apply to this folder subfolders and modify permissions. Also making sure that create folder and append data is tick marked. And OK. And apply. OK. We'll do the same with sales folder. So once we create the folder and subfolder, we're trying to check the network path of the data folder, the main folder, and then we'll try to confirm the access through the user account using client PC. Now we'll go to client PC, CL1, and try to log in as Tom, who is a member of IT group. So when he logs in for the first time, we can see that he has to provide a new password, as we have set a permission like that. When a user logs into their account for the first time, they have to change the password. Now when we open File Explorer and on the search bar, if we type the network path of the folder called data from file server, we can see that Tom has access to IT folder but not the sales folder because we have enabled access based enumeration option. So within IT subfolder, we are creating a document called hello just to see if this document called hello is centrally stored in file server or not. So when we go to file server and go to data and open IT folder, we can see that the document name hello is automatically stored in file server. What it means is that when Tom or any other user who have access to IT folder, when they create a document or a file within IT folder, it is centrally stored in file server instead of local computer, which is client computer, which is great for sharing files and folders within a team and for team collaboration. Now we have already created a folder called data and subfolders called IT and sales. And I've also provided access to the users group. Now it is time for us to configure network drive mapping using group policy. What it means is that we are going to create a group policy object which can create a network drive within the user's account so that they do not have to go to the file explorer and type the network path to access the folder. Instead, they will find the IT folder as a network drive just like any other drive in their computer. So let's open DC to apply group policy. So we'll log in as an administrator. Then go to Tools and open Group Policy Management. We'll right click on the user and create a group policy object and link it in the organizational unit. We give the name Drive Map for IT group. Then we right click the group policy object we created and edit it. We go to user configuration, preference and Windows setting, then drive maps, and we create a new drive map. So on the action we create, and in the location we give the location of the folder, which is /fs/data/IT, then label it as IT and provide the drive later as I, and leave everything else the same, and we apply and OK. Similarly, we'll create a group policy object for sales group and link it with the user so that the user in the sales group can have their own network drive. So after we create group policy object, we have to open command prompt and type gp update force so that we can apply the group policy immediately. Now to verify if the group policy has been successfully applied or not, we open client PC as Tom and go to command prompts and type gp update/force. And sometimes we are required to restart the computer to see the changes. We can see that the group policy has been successfully applied, and we are not required to restart the computer this time. Now we go to File Explorer and go this PC. And under the network location, we can see there is a new drive called IT with the drive letter I. So lastly, configuring folder redirection using group policy. Firstly, to understand what is folder redirection. Folder redirection is a group policy feature used to redirect specific user folder such as desktop, downloads and documents from the user local computer to network location such as centralized file server. This means that whenever a user creates or saves files in their redirected folder, the files are automatically stored on the file server instead of local PC. By applying this group policy object, an administrator can prevent data from loss and accidental damage and enable seamless access to user files from any workstation in the network and improve security and backups. To apply folder redirection, we go to File Server and File and Storage. Then we select Share. Then we select Tasks and New Share. After that, we select the first option, Quick. Then we select Custom Path. Then browse it. And we create a new folder in C drive. We can name it as Folder Redirect. Then we select Folder. And Next. Then Next. And enable access space enumeration, and we'll provide custom permission by disabling inheritance and deleting users and adding permission to IT group and sales group. In the apply to, we can just put it this folder only and modify permission as well. Similarly, we add sales group. And apply to this folder only and modify permission. Select OK, apply and OK. Then next and create. Then we go to domain controller and create a group policy object for folder redirection. By right clicking on user, we create a folder redirection. We can name it as folder redirection. Then right click on the group policy object created and edit. Under user configuration, we go to policy, Windows setting and folder redirection, and redirect folder such as desktop and documents. By clicking right click on desktop properties, we select basic, and under target folder location, we select create a folder for each user under the root path, and we provide the root path. So let's check the root path of the folder in file server. Right click folder redirect properties, then sharing, and we can see the network path. Then provide this network path in the group policy object we created for folder redirection. Then click apply, select yes, then go to settings, click third option here, apply, OK. And we'll do the same in the documents. After we create group policy object, we open command prompt and type gp update force to apply group policy object immediately. Then we go to client PC and log in as a user, then enforce group policy just like here by going to command prompt and typing gp update force. And this time the client PC has asked us to restart the computer, so we type Y. We log in as Tom by providing the password. When we open File Explorer, now we can see there is a new icon, the green icon under desktop and document. So under document, we just create a new document named Tom document. By doing this, we automatically create a profile of Tom in file server. When we go to file server, open folder redirect, there we can see that Tom's profile has been automatically created and both desktop and my document folders have been successfully redirected.